excellent. Look, you've got your books behind you.
I do now.
How are you?
I'm good. And how are you? Yesterday was amazing.
Thank you.
It was so lovely.
I don't know.
Seeing you there.
I'm just getting to the point where I do media and I just go blah. You know, I don't even think about the impression that I'm giving anymore, or
That's great.
I'm myself, and it either goes well or it doesn't go well.
I think that's why it's always so easy listening to you, and I love it. I love it. It was so nice having you on, and I just was running around the house going, my friend Susan's on. And then I'd like rush them to come and have a look and then be like, oh, but you can't listen, go away.
It's so, you know, since we last talked, things have changed in the world at large.
Oh, yeah, yes, absolutely. Things like feel like they've plateaued, like settled a little bit. Like now
I feel that
it's
too.
not that desperate sense of emergency anymore, but a really slow build of, oh my goodness.
Yes, I agree. And people are even talking about, someone was talking to me yesterday about the good things that might come out of this. I don't know if it's too soon. I always kind of jump the gun a bit. I don't know if it's too soon to be talking. So just edit this bit out if it sounds really bad. But I was talking to a friend yesterday and she said, there are actually maybe some good things that will come out of this, you know. Maybe the social policies that the government has introduced. We may have a fairer Australia, which would be nice. The environment's being left alone because we're all inside.
It's interesting, isn't it?
And local community, building local community.
Yeah.
Stronger.
Yeah, I think so. And people understanding the importance of that we do have a global society, but at the end of the day, the physical people on your fence are going to matter. Oh, look, now I feel like we're on a level.
But what would you do without your laptop? Oh, my God.
I overheated mine the other day, and then now the screen's being slightly slow. Well, we started to collect the old work ones from my husband's work so that we could play Minecraft together, because we each needed. It sounds silly.
No, it doesn't. I'm just thinking, wow, you must have a brain. You must have an amazing brain. I could never do any of that.
Oh, yes, you could. I've taught, my mum plays, but yeah, she plays, and mine learnt from about age 4, and all the cousins played. So we'd all go on a family server. So she does things like at Christmas, you have chests of things. And so she'll make a big Christmas tree, and she'll set up little Christmas chests for each of the grandkids and give them like virtual diamonds. And they're just over the moon. You'd think they got real diamonds. It's the cheapest presents. And we always laughed at like the things that make them really happy. No, it's just that they play together. So they all jump around, and it's how we're staying in touch. And and my kids learnt to type because it was either that or not communicate. And they decided they really wanted iron or something. So they have to type out that they want that. And now they can do that. And they learn manners and ethics. And so they know you must say hello to someone when they join. It's a safe family server. We have a few, because my brother's a programmer, so he runs fancy ones. And then they join on, and they've learned how you can't take someone's things. You can't go into their chest without their permission. You can't blow up their stuff. And we've played with kids who didn't learn these manners. Yes. And it's terrible. So teaching.
I'm struck every single time we're on the video together just how beautiful you are.
Oh, don't.
No, you so are. God.
I feel so pale. You always look radiant, and I always feel like a vampire.
No, I put on a hell of a lot of makeup this morning because I learned from our last experience.
But it was wonderful. I loved that video. I loved it so much.
Can I just say one more thing, because I want to talk to you about your good news. One thing that gives me hope is that I would never have gone on a video or done anything 3 months ago with greys coming through. You know, I've got a lot of greys. And I think personally, I think the world is changing because it just doesn't matter anymore. You know, it just doesn't matter anymore.
No. And what we want, I think, is that genuine, authentic person. And I think that's what struck a chord with this, is that I don't normally give people time to prepare. I never have time to prepare. The fact that we're all relying so heavily now on this type of contact, we want all kinds. And
yeah, I
we're
agree.
braver now. We're braver. I needed to get used to the vision of myself before the book came out. This is when I started the vlog. I thought, well, look, if I make all my mistakes first, then I've got less to fear, because you fear something that you think you can control. And I figure, well, if I just give up the control, I'm like, look, this is it. This is me.
Yep, this is so important.
Take
you
it
know,
or leave it.
My book was launched on the 4th of February, and I don't know how many photographs and videos, and because Laura Benson, who is the wonderful publicist, my publicist at Allen & Unwin, she's unbelievable, and she's just got me everywhere. And after a while, you just go, because you just can't. You can't control it. You can't. It's completely out of your hands. And these days I just go, except I did put a bit of makeup on this morning because I could control that. So I want to talk to you about what's happening in your world. There's something very, very exciting happening.
There is. And I had to tell you first. And I had to. And you're gonna wonder about me, probably.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not. Ever, Anna. Ever. I never wonder about you. I think you're amazing.
Oh dear. So I was talking to my editor about how everyone else has got these books coming out and they have such professional merchandise. They have lovely merchandise things, which is beautiful and wonderful, and they've done such an amazing job with it. And I get very anxious about it. I freeze up if I try and order a postcard. And then I'm like, well, which image? What do I put on it? Do I put a quote on it? Which quote? Oh my goodness, you want me to choose one quote? And I have loaded so many browsers and then left them there. So I was looking at all the things they were making and feeling quite overwhelmed that I had nothing special to give anyone who pre-ordered, or I don't even know, just for no reason, something to go with the book. And then we'd had our discussion about making I'm not going to be able to finish saying this. Susan.
Serious? Oh, I want it.
I need to send you.
Oh, look at it.
A glittery roll of handmade toilet paper.
How long did it take you to make that?
They come in various sizes.
Depending on how big you are. Oh, wow.
But on top of that, I thought I would make bookmarks for myself. And so they're glittery and they can also be used as toilet paper because they're the same thing. But the ones that don't work have been converted.
It's beautiful. I just really want to touch it. I want to see them all lined up, Anna, in their various sizes.
Hang on. I need the stick. And then there's...
Oh, they're so cute. They're so cute.
Okay, and there are different sizes. And there are real duds. Look at that.
No, I awesome. Like that. I think that's beautiful.
Well, and we've got a bit of a production line going. I've roped the kids in. They're so silly. They're sparklier than they look on there.
I think they're beautiful. I mean, handmade bookmarks that you can use as toilet paper. Life in the time of coronavirus.
Some are only good as toilet paper.
I think it's great. I'm so
So-
glad. I think it's wonderful.
You would definitely be left with a glittery bum. With the amount that you can't even see just how much glitter there is. Oh, did
yes,
you
I
see a
can.
sparkle?
I can. When you hold it up real close. Beautiful. It's like, you know what, it reminds me of a little doll's house. See, a little bathroom in a little doll's house with the teeny weeny toilet paper.
And they might even have to be posted as roll your own.
Oh, God.
So that they're flat, you know. Because I haven't really...
You're a dad.
My son has been working so hard. He made me a new decal because my decal and mould was that slightly odd size for a bookmark. So I said, I really need a long one. And so he went and made me a long one. And he's been out there. We've made it a bit bluer on the paper, and every time the recipe sort of changes. So they've got different glitters. The rainbow will always be different depending on how well I've painted it.
I can't remember the colour of your book.
Well,
yeah, okay. So you've got good,
and
good.
The rainbow matches.
Yes,
because
very good.
I
learned this from Holly Ringland. You know her Lost Flowers of Alice Hart. Do you know that book?
Yes. Yeah.
So every time she has a photograph or anything done, it matches the cover of the book.
Oh, that's
I know. So everything that she does kind of links in with the book. So that's why I asked. But that's good. The rainbow works well.
Well, the only thing I ever got printed, which is to match my business cards that I can hand out to everyone this year. They're going to sit in a box, aren't they? And they all have rainbows. And the image that they did up, and I got them printed as little stickers.
Oh, they're beautiful.
But and you can actually stick one on there and they blend in. But you can't, because it looks, I've done such silly things trying to figure out how to make them prettier than just toilet paper that they are. And I tried like embedding it.
Yeah.
Which works, but it just looks weird. So then I just kept going. It's just like keep trying. And they'll probably change. I don't know what I'll add to them, maybe little dots of glitter, but I wouldn't want too much, like anything that would be a bit rough on the bottom. So, it has to sort of remain a decent sensory experience when they finally meet their end.
Oh, no. Did you practice that?
That's terrible. Oh, I'm so sorry.
That's terrible, Muriel.
So, I was thinking, but I don't know how many I can make, and if I lose interest, we're stuffed. So I thought I would do it that if someone already had pre-ordered, I don't know how they run these things, If you send me a receipt, then I'll send you something. But I'm like, if you send me a receipt, I might send you something if I've got enough. And if I don't, you all go into a drawer.
And you will win.
A roll your own bog roll. And a bookmark.
Yeah.
And then, I don't know, and then it could be a big winner who gets a letter or instructions on how to make toilet paper.
Yeah, actually, that's nice, a recipe on how to make toilet paper. I think that's nice, Anna.
You know what got shredded up to go into it?
I hate to think.
The drafts of Peter Lyre.
Ah, see, that is special.
Well, yeah, you might catch a word, although I've whizzed them too well. There's a little bit of some old Christmas paper.
So maybe whiz them less, so you can actually see some of the words on the bookmark. I think that would be lovely.
But I'll give it a go. I will. That's a good idea. This is the thing. The more things I try, they'll all be different and they're unique. A little unique.
I think the idea of being able to see, it's like lost words.
Yeah.
Yeah, from the book. I think that's a gorgeous idea.
Also, then it gets a little bit weird of wiping your bum with Peta. Like, there are connotations there that we might not want to explore.
There are connotations there, which I hadn't thought of.
And all the I don't know. See, then I get all torn up.
Oh no, Anna.
I can perforate little sheets. I've got a little perforator. I can just tear one off at a time. Only in case of emergency.
Yeah. Not a very big emergency.
Dab, don't wipe. No.
I can't believe we've just spent
I'm
10
so
minutes?
sorry. No, that's it. We're done now. That's
10
20
minutes talking about. I think it's when you told me that first instant that I knew where you were going.
Well, I thought I can make my own video, but it just wouldn't be the same. You know, ideas come from places, and this idea came from talking to you because I'd not thought about making paper until then.
We don't want to, there's connotations there too. Yeah. Susan talks a whole lot of.
We all do. We absolutely. But we can turn it into something useful. All the drafts, all the words.
You made my Sunday morning very special.
If a little bit strange. But you had a very professional Saturday because it was a wonderful interview. I really, really enjoyed it. And then you're getting a slightly less professional Sunday morning, but that's okay.
I think it's really, I actually really like these interviews, you know, when it's just people that you know and it's relaxed and it feels like you're sharing with people within the community, within the book community, within the reading community. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, I think you get to know what someone's like, and then I think that has to in some way translate to what they write. Like, I think if you can see that someone can handle, like for you can always tie together the deep emotional experience of life with the humor of life and seeing it with that. I don't know how you do it, because you can talk about the most deep and heart-wrenching material and yet it feels like a warm hug at the same time, and I don't get that. Like, to do the both at the same time, and I always think, why do I end up feeling hopeful? Why do I end up feeling like everything's okay when, you know, what was spoken about is so heart-wrenching?
My agent, the wonderful Benithan Oldfield, he watched the interview yesterday on YouTube last night with his wife, Nikki. And she sent me a text and she said, and this is the best compliment I have ever received. She said, "You are a love bomb."
Oh,
how cool is that?
That's
I thought
lovely.
that was just, I don't think anyone's ever said anything like that to me before.
Bomb.
Yeah, a love bomb. And now I've got, because I'm talking to you, isn't it funny how ideas jump? I'm talking to you and I'm thinking of all this exploding glitter. You know, love bomb. Yeah. Love bombs for love bums.
Now we've got brand name for our toilet paper.
Love bombs, love bums.
Love your bums.
Love your bum. Love your bum. Love your bum.
Add glitter.
Tell me, are you working on anything else?
Well, I do have 2 drafts of a second book, of 2 separate books, and I don't know which one. Neither of them have solid endings, but I didn't want to write the ending until I was sure which one we would go with. So they're being checked out by my agent at the moment, because second book starts a trajectory. One book stands alone, and a second book starts a where are you headed? And that's such a lot of pressure. And so I'm like, which way do you think I should go? And this one could wait until later, or this one could wait until later, but one being very different and quite kooky in a, I don't even know what it is way, and the other one being a companion novel to Peter Lyre with different characters, stories. So I don't know which one they'll go with. If either, like, what if they're both crap? Which is okay, I'll just start another one. Yeah.
So
how about you?
About 52,000 words in to a fiction novel, very serious novel. And the weirdest thing is the coronavirus is affecting my writing. So for some reason there's a man out there, based on the murders of the journalists who were executed by the Indonesians in Balabo in Timor in 1975. So it was very ambitious because that's a very serious subject and I need to treat it with the respect it deserves. And the book just felt a bit lightweight. And then, like, I couldn't, the tone or something wasn't right. Anyway, coronavirus came along. And I'll share this with you. Now I have, instead of being a female protagonist, I have a male, 45-year-old, very reserved character who stutters. And all of a sudden it feels a lot grittier and a lot more serious and a lot more right. But it's hard. It's a very ambitious thing to try and write, like from the perspective of a different gender. I'm kind of excited about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that is exciting. And the minute you tap into that thing and then you start to find the experiences have more meaning, and it really does make everything better when you're writing, even though it hurts and it's hard, it's always better for it. We've just got to bleed all over those pages, don't we? It's rough. It's worth it. I will edit this into some sense of order.
Not too
so
much.
That bums. Or not. Let's just chuck it up as it is. No.
Yeah, just chuck it up.
I'll see.
Just chuck it up.
But thank you so much. I couldn't have imagined a better person to share this with.
I am so honoured that you chose me to share this with. And boy, have you brought me laughter this morning. I haven't laughed like that probably since the last time I spoke to you. You've got a great sense of, there's something really special about you. Really
no.
Special.
I think we just have a similar sense of humour, and so we just get it.
Yeah, very dark sense of humour, hey?
I blame my English heritage.
I don't know what I blame.
Me. You can just blame me.
All right, I'll blame you. Thank you. Bye, darling. Bye.
The number you have dialed has been changed.